Hey, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Mood Room. We're doing our part two, the Leslie Hour, and we're going to continue what we were talking about. She has a list here that we're going to go through.
5,
So,
17, 17.
We're I like that. I don't know if I want to name it. It's whatever. We still have the same
those
people
keeping
here,
score?
minus what did you call it? Asshole aristocrat or some shit like that.
Little aristocrat, junior.
Little piss fuck.
conqueror.
Is that what he called him? Bird shit.
I just call him this
So
fucking guy.
Gojira, Nosgoth, the lovely Leslie.
No, that sounds kind of cool, actually.
I
I
know,
love that.
I know what I'm doing. So go ahead. What was the thing you wanted to?
Oh, all right. So yeah, I remember I had a discussion with you, like, I guess it was like last week or something. But I was always like kind of curious why women's lifespan tend to be longer than men's lifespan.
I think that was Saturday.
Because they live longer.
Yeah. Yeah, I know they live longer, but like.
Next question.
And done.
But why?
But
Why do we think that?
We'll
So
never
you
know.
said, did you look up some stuff?
Yeah,
about
I
it?
did actually, but I was wondering what your guys' thoughts would be first.
Well, you know what my
before-
thoughts are.
I mean,
were.
yeah, I do.
You want me to say it again?
Yeah, go on.
Okay,
Restate them actually. Let's see what their opinion on that is.
my opinion, obviously, is not fact. It's just women tend to not internalize their emotions as much as men do. So I think, that. I think people underestimate the impact that internalizing your problems has on the body. Like they talk about stress and how the impact of stress on your body. I think it's the same sort of thing. So I think because women allow their emotions to be more open and free about how they feel and all that kind of stuff, they tend to live longer because of it. What do you think, Godzilla?
I agree with that statement, and I will even add to the fact that I am very happy to have been born a man because I cannot imagine going to the doctor and going through what women go through for their normal checkups. Because I don't like being touched whatsoever, and they have a lot more to be touched and poked and prodded than I do.
Ew.
I don't even want my eyes being pulled back and looked at. I'm squirming, I'm crying, I'm punching them in the face. I don't want to be touched at all.
They
when I'm at the
love me in the
doctor's.
doctor's office. I was at the doctor's one time, and they had like interns there, and I was like, I just took it all off and go ahead, do what you gotta do. I don't care.
Nope. I don't want to take
Go
my
right in.
clothes
They
off.
had-
I
they
don't want
brought,
you touching
like-
nothing. I don't want you poking and
They
prodding.
brought
I don't- none of
three
that.
interns in there to do what they had to do because I didn't give a shit. I'm like, go ahead.
I'm sure if I was born a female, I wouldn't feel like this. I'm just saying, having been born the way I am and seeing what happens, I can't imagine going through that.
So
I wouldn't.
what are your thoughts on it? Why do you think women live longer?
Women go to the doctor. Guys don't go to the doctor just because of that.
That's a good
I wanna
point.
get poked and
That's
prodded.
legitimate.
They're like, whatever. Like, do you see what I had done yesterday?
I remember. Go ahead. That's a silent.
Well, actually, I don't. Maybe,
mean-
maybe I'm just doing exactly what you said people do, but I don't think internalized emotions really causes
I don't know.
that
It's just a
one's
thought.
lifespan to.
I know that.
What? Are you
What I
telling
do
me
know is that
stress
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 is
has
a
an effect on your
killer.
body, right? So,
It can manifest.
when
in
you're
ways.
able to
Well, people handle
Not-
stress in different ways. Sometimes a little time alone is better.
that's
like,
not when
that-
people
that
can
doesn't
meditate out of
define
it. That's perfectly
gender.
fine. You don't
That
have to.
doesn't
There's
define
obviously other
gender.
avenues of
As
dealing
I've
with
said,
it.
painting with a broad paint stroke, society does not have men expressing their feelings and emotions, and they internalize a lot of things. So
Right, and they
view
get
a lot of
attacked
things
I
when they
don't.
are like that.
Yes,
you
and if
know,
they
it's,
do-
oh,
I
you
agree.
punk, weak, punk. You ain't no man, blah blah blah. You know, and it's like you know.
Speaker Boehner comes to mind, the crier.
Oh,
Oh yes, I recall that. So what are your thoughts on it?
I don't really know. I mean,
You said you agree with what I said.
yeah,
terms of the
I think
stress
that's a
thing? So we're on the
part.
same
I think that's a
wavelength.
part of it. Definitely.
Just in terms of the stress, because I
Yes,
know
the
for a
the
fact stress
level,
fucks
like,
you up. So,
you know, I
but like you said,
suppose-
each person is different. They handle stuff differently.
Exactly.
That's true.
Not
That's
every
absolutely
girl's
true.
like that
You could
either,
go if you had stress
you
going
know.
on. You could just go meditate. You don't got to talk to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah.
That's true. That's true.
So what did you? So you said you looked up some stuff. What did you
Yeah,
find?
okay, so at first I thought it was because, like, alright, maybe it's because more of the manual labor type jobs and more of the heavy workforce type jobs.
Think
it
of
goes,
that.
goes towards the guys.
Yeah.
Valid.
So maybe it's because of that, like coal mining and all that stuff. That's gonna kill you eventually. You're gonna get lung cancer. But then
Certain
I looked
pieces.
more into it, and even as like women were joining the workforce and stuff, and because like you know in the past
Modern
it was
day.
now modern day, like it is always like it's always been I don't know always, but for a very long time it's been women living like several years longer than men in like multiple countries. That's when I looked up. And I came across this one article that says so you know how women have double X chromosomes while men have XY
Oh,
chromosomes.
really technical. Mhm.
Yeah. Apparently the double X chromosome is like they have like if a certain part of their body's functional whatever fails, they have a replacement for that, but men don't.
Oh, really?
Really?
Because
of
of
the
double
XX
X,
chromosome?
yeah, because
Wow.
XX and
Can you
XY.
can you give
Because
an
they're
example of
stronger.
it?
I did not know that.
Or something
Can you give
like
an
that.
example of it?
I don't know if I'm explaining this exactly perfectly or right, but I guess you can look it up yourself and find out.
Could you break down in terms of like an example of like, let's say something that didn't work and so the women, they have this thing replaced and it just works and the men don't
you
have
know,
the
how, you know,
replacement?
like how
If you could think of one, I don't know.
I guess like you know how basically how you get injured and then your cells replace it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually fixes and stuff like that. And you know how you get older and older, and eventually your body starts to wear down, and, and eventually it doesn't exactly fix.
So when it comes to men, that replacing of the thing doesn't happen sooner. You do know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Did I say right?
Yeah, I can't because I don't know, but just to theorize off of it, if you only have to produce X and you're good at doing that, if you need double X, you're good. If you have to produce X and Y, you have to work harder to do that.
Also, it said something about
If we
how
were double Y, maybe we'd be the same.
also
but we're not. We have
it
X.
said
and
something
Y.
else on how men's bodies are bigger. Tend to be bigger. Men's bodies tend to be bigger.
Usually.
So like the body has to work harder for that body to function because like there's more to
Yes,
to it.
the exertion of gravity
Yeah.
in the body and everything. You're just.
So then let's
work.
take it a step further. When you add in all of that to the thing with the the internalizing in terms of like stress and all that kind of stuff, then all these factors potentially are going to
Definitely.
make men die sooner. You know, there's obviously more facets of it than just one thing, and we're
We're
talking
more
about life and
expendable.
death.
The human body for the female is made to bear children and be
That's
the
true.
nurturer
That's true.
to humankind. So
Oh,
they're
you know-
internally.
you know that
I think men
really-
are physically stronger externally, but I think internally women are stronger. Just their body chemistry and
You
makeup
know, it's
is
funny
is
because
more.
that brings out an interesting theory. Well, it's not like probably not a legitimate theory, but like my theory that you just brought up.
Theory.
Maybe it's because women have stronger instincts.
In what sense?
In a sense where, yes, because women are meant to bear and children and nurture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they feel like their life has more purpose since their role is to nurture and take care of. Maybe they feel like they have a stronger will to live for those they feel they need to nurture and care for.
That's interesting.
Like if they have a mate per se,
Yes.
like a husband and a wife, the wife, her duty is to nurture and take care of her husband till the day she dies.
But doesn't that
Yes,
work
her-
both
her
ways
job
though?
is
So
the-
they,
Well, of
Yes,
course,
but I will
yes.
say the men feel they're expendable, and can be replaced.
I would,
Oh, wow.
that's interesting.
I don't-
I
well,
would
that's
I
deep.
would
I
agree
don't
with
know.
that.
That's-
I agree with that. It may not be a thought out.
On
I'm
a personal
expendable.
level, you don't want to be replaced, but men feel they can be
Yeah.
replaced.
Oh,
If
interesting.
I was to die, you can go find another mate that can provide for you and go out and hunt.
Right,
and,
if
and
the
get
woman
food.
if the
But
woman
if the
dies,
woman
that's
was to
gonna
die,
have
like
a,
how do
a
I
huge
replace
impact
your mom?
of right. You don't.
Oh,
Men
wow.
wouldn't feel the
Well, that's
I
interesting,
can
right?
go
That
replace that.
Oh my.
I would
That's-
agree with that.
That's the 99 bananas.
Well, because think about it. The first thing you think
Take
about
me up
is a
tomorrow.
child when you get hurt
I'll be
is
good.
mom. Am I right?
That's true.
Like everybody wants to go to mom. Like when you're a
Yeah.
child, you have a boo boo. Who wants to go to dad to soothe them and hold them?
That's,
Like,
well,
it's
men are
okay.
more abrasive.
That's a
generally.
Bill Cosby skit.
I just think that women,
Raise the
like I
child.
said, are more.
Come on,
are,
come on, son, run it.
Not that I'm
Oh,
saying
do it
men
again, do it
can't be
again.
nurturing.
Get on television. Hi,
Men
Mom.
can be,
Yeah.
but
women tend to be more. Yeah.
I think women have more of a willpower
Let's see.
to fight to the death
Well, you know
for
what?
the people they
Like,
need to
when it comes
nurture
to,
and take care of.
from my experience, when it comes to raising kids, the women that I've seen, they don't. This is. I mean, each person's different. They raise kids differently. Blah blah. But women tend to not want to fuck their kids up as much as men do, and I think as a result of that, you get these problem children. Do you know what I'm talking about? Men are the
Like
ones
discipline?
that. Yeah,
They're the
discipline. Oh yeah.
disciplinary.
Discipline,
The
yeah.
men are the disciplinary.
So when the
Well,
father's
they're-
not there,
They're there all day, so it's
Yeah,
a war
that's
of
true.
attrition
That's
between
true.
them. So they're very happy
Like-
to pawn that off and say, "Wait till your father gets home," because
course.
he doesn't care. He's not working all day,
You
and
know.
they also know what guy wants to work 8 or 9 hours out there busting rocks or whatever the hell he's doing to come home to have
some
to be
bullshit.
told? Yeah, some bullshit.
That's true.
True.
That's a very good point.
That's
I'm
true.
like, I busted my ass all day,
mean,
and I come home to this.
I gotta come
stupid
home to
shit.
have your mom tell me.
All right, get ready. You know what's about to happen.
But yeah,
Of course,
I
it
think
does
it's a
vary to
combination.
person.
You may as well just go in the
It
corner
does.
and
Yeah,
give yourself a
obviously.
bloody
There are
nose
some
because
moms
it's
like
got to
whoop the
happen.
kid's ass.
It's definitely. I think it's definitely a combination. It's not just
All right,
one.
well, that brings
thing.
up a good thing too. What do you guys think about, like, in terms of discipline, beating your kids?
Beating.
Now, when I say beating, I'm talking about. I'll talk about my own experience. I was points where I was hit with an extension cord. I was hit with switches from the trees or whatever. There was the big red belt. That was the normal one.
Ooh.
The big red belt.
Yeah.
There was one time I was fucking pissed off. I'm gonna tell you the quick story.
Very oculta.
I was pissed. Yes, pissed off. That's right. Okay, me and my brother had this bag, right, and it had rocks in it, right. We twisted the bag. We twisted the top of the bag,
Yeah.
and we would throw it up, and it would twirl down like that, right. Cool, fun thing for kids. Until my
Seems
jackass,
fun.
dumbass brother, I'm not gonna say your name, Danny, lets the shit hit him in the fucking head,
Oh my! Come on.
right. So of course he runs in the house, and
Blame
for whatever
you.
reason, it's my fault because he's.
Aw.
I don't want to say retarded. Did I say? I don't want to say. All right,
You
so
didn't say it. You said I don't want to say it.
all right, so he, so then I'm now the one. It's my fault somehow. We're both playing with this shit. He doesn't move out of the way. The damn bag of rocks.
Are you the older brother?
Yes.
It's your
Whoa, well, damn, he's down. So he's. All right, well, there it is.
That's how it works. It's your fault.
You should have knew better than throwing up this bag of rocks.
Yep.
What's wrong with you?
Don't
I
matter.
thought
Don't matter. You're 5 and he's 4. You're the older one. So
I thought this guy would get out of the way.
I hear you.
Okay, so we got the big red belt, but the problem with the big red belt was this happened at a point where we were having a cookout in our backyard. Mad people there.
Aye.
And
So
he-
they're all watching and laughing at
listen,
you.
he whooped my ass in front of all of them.
Your father?
My stepdad, yup,
Your step-
in front of
Ooh.
all those
Oh,
people.
that's so embarrassing.
And I
Ooh.
developed a certain anger after that.
I don't.
A
And I-
certain anger.
Yup, and I kept it.
Dang.
I was pissed
Resentment.
off. Yo, it was bad.
Ooh.
It wasn't cool.
Lingering anger.
It was.
Kind
The best kind of anger. The delicious anger.
You remember the age?
Yeah, power.
You put salt and pepper on that anger. What?
You remember the age you're at this point?
Guessing around 10.
Oh.
So you were starting to reason and comprehend why are these things happening to me, and you wanted
Oh yeah, I remember the last time I had a beating. Actually,
you wanted justice as opposed to
Yes.
just a reaction from
the last time I had a beating, and I'll get you guys' opinions about what you think is appropriate or not in terms of discipline. But the last time I had a beating, I was probably 13 years old, I think, right? And
Wow, that was you were good.
all right, so well, no, let me tell you what happened. So I had gotten into some shit with my sister in the laundry. We actually got into a fight, right? So we came back, and I don't know why we told our mother about it, but
We fought.
now we get beatings because of it. You're out there showing your ass, you get beating, right?
Yes.
But I was not in the mood to have a beating anymore. So when she decided to beat me, I just stood there and didn't react. And I told myself, I'm like,
Dang, you're like, nope.
I'm tired of beatings. I'm done with that. You got to figure something else out.
And you told me, I think she had the reaction, oh, you think you're too big to get beating now.
Oh.
So she hit me harder, but I didn't react.
Dang.
like, I just stood there.
Resolve.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
gave her
don't
the-
think, I don't
Really?
think I know I'm too big for this now.
Yeah, I'm like,
This is now we have a conversation. You're physically hitting me is only pissing me off.
right. That's you know.
And I actually had the respect to not fight back.
So did you guys get beatings, or did you just? You know,
Yeah.
So was it? So was it like?
I was spanked. I was not beat.
So that's like a
Yeah.
pop on the ass kind of thing.
1, 2, or 3, but also my father's Mr. T. So
That's very true.
it was a little bit more than just your average person whooping you on the
Yeah,
rear
your
end.
dad was Diesel. His dad mad big.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I just said Mr. T. People know who that is. That was basically who my father
He
was.
could have been bigger than Mr. T, but I'm just
Oh,
saying.
all right.
Actually, yes, he is, because Mr. T is only like 5'11".
Yeah, he was.
My father was
His dad
6'2".
was Diesel.
So you know, I don't know if you guys know, but you know that joke where the Arab lady's beating his kid with a flip flop.
I got hit with a flip too.
Yeah, I know.
No.
That's
It's
lightweight.
nothing.
That's
Yeah, it is
lightweight shit.
Flip-flop.
That's
You heard the
basically all I
extension
get.
cord, right?
Yeah. I think
That was the
the
worst.
hardest thing she ever got was like this Nerf gun, and I was like, it's pretty hard plastic.
Damn.
And I kind of just blocked it with my arm. This is when I was starting to get older. When like, no, stop it.
Yeah. So,
Well, as we learned in Street Fighter, you can block everything except for Fireball and take no damage.
so do you? What about you? Did you get? What was the extent of?
I got a lot of bitch slaps.
Like, when you say?
Like
Now, here's the thing
backhanded.
about that, right?
Spatula. Continue.
I got a lot of
pretty good.
backhands. Like,
It's not bad.
boom.
Okay, see, here's the thing about that,
Ooh.
right?
Ooh.
You're talking about
That's
getting
in the
struck
face.
in the face.
Yeah.
That's
that
men.
makes
That's
me-
mental. That's
ooh,
gonna do mental
that's-
damage. I don't like that. I don't like
Well,
getting-
I deserved it, man.
Well, no,
I deserved it.
I don't like that as a means of discipline. Just because that can impact you on a mental, like it can make you. Not that the other ones can't, but that's going to impact you more getting hit in your face. I think it would hit back me more.
That never
Yes.
that never bothered me. It just made me angry and ashamed.
Well, that's what I'm talking. Yeah, ashamed. I never felt shame.
But I was very
anger.
disrespectful. So
Oh, cool.
Regardless
Yeah.
of who, if you were right or I just don't think it was. What do you think? Do you think that where do you draw the line in terms of discipline? A lot of people today, all the things that we talked about, the belt, the spatula, all they got in the spatula's probably
Coat
crazy.
hanger, actually. That's
I had a coat hanger happen
That
before.
one's- yeah,
That's
yeah.
not cool either.
Those are a
That's
lot more
gonna-
than you expect.
That'll rip your skin up.
well, I
Yeah,
only
that's-
got hit in the face when I got older. When
Oh,
I was
yeah.
younger, it
Well,
was
you would think
spanking.
it was.
Yeah,
So when
it
you
was
talk about older, what do you mean
spankings.
older?
Like in my teens.
No, that's
Teens?
that's-
No, you're true.
Like in
that'll
my
make
teens.
you
I
you
know.
know.
I think she.
In my teens.
Is everyone asleep yet? Now I'm gonna get my revenge. That's that kind of. You don't hit people in their face like that.
I think. Yeah, I think in my teens she.
They
Like,
started
that's why I
like-
said she tried, and I just like no, stop
we're
it,
done.
and just laughed at her and stuff. And
Where's
like,
Bones? He can talk to this
Mm.
topic.
So,
Oh, yeah.
all right. So, what do you guys draw the line? What do you think is appropriate in terms of disciplining your child?
What age?
Do you think those things are too much that you endured,
At what
or
age?
do you? You can determine the age.
Okay.
You can like lay it out.
I think like. I guess 6 to, like I guess 6 to like 9. That's when they usually get beat, right? That's when the people that like
You
beating
tell
hitting
us.
their kids usually start. I know
Well, I'm saying you're
people beat
determining the-
5-year-olds.
He's asking you, what do you think is appropriate? Not necessarily just what happened to you. What do you think is appropriate?
All right. So I'm gonna get it a little easier for you. So,
I mean, you don't see someone beating a 3-year-old.
all right. So, all right. So what age? All right. So what age do you think you should start giving a child a beating? Like, is it 5? Is it younger than that? Here's the thing, right? So,
Yeah. That's
you have situations
what I'm trying to
where
figure out. Yeah,
a child
I don't think I
wants
want
to
to beat my child. To be
Well,
fair.
a child would use crying and screaming to get what they want,
Dang.
right? So, do you think popping them in the butt is? Because I don't mind this at any age. This popping in the butt stuff. Now you wind up for it.
Oh, that's
That you know,
that's
it
like,
depends. But
no.
popping in the butt to straighten some stuff out. I think
have
it,
no problem with
I
that.
think that's something that should be established very early on to respond to that to the trying to use crying and screaming as a way to get what you want. You got to do that early on
Yes.
because one thing that I noticed is that
Does that even hurt?
well it hurts
startles.
it hurts their
To a
feelings.
child, it does,
Oh,
and they
It-
don't.
the idea of what's happening hurts their feelings.
Each child's different, but generally
Yes,
speaking,
each child's different. Yes.
generally speaking,
Okay.
You
I
know,
never got.
that's a-
Oh, I
that's
got
a-
I
that's a
got in
good
trouble.
point.
I
You
never
know.
got spanked my
I
entire
think
life.
it really depends.
Really?
The
Nothing?
age.
Never got
Didn't
spanked.
you just tell me?
Really?
Oh, you mean spank? Oh, you got
Yeah.
other shit. Okay.
I got other
it's
shit.
like, no,
Yeah.
I got the shit beat out of me. I just didn't get spanked.
I just think you
I
should
wouldn't
be,
say that, but yeah.
as a parent, very perceptive to your child and understand who they are, because for some,
Parents aren't like that.
disciplinary action can differ between child to child. If you really think about it, if you have a child that has a certain personality, right,
That's true.
and you see that they have a tendency to listen more than, like, let's say another one, you may not necessarily have to use physical action. Some children listen to just some stern talking to. You just grab them and you say, "Listen to me," and they're like, "Okay."
I think there are some kids
You
that
know.
you can pay attention to what they're responding to.
Yeah.
But I think as long as you're consistent in what you
Yeah.
do, you're
Yes,
fine.
consistency is key.
The only complaint I would say is my father was very quick to want to pop me on the rear end. Sometimes out of nowhere. And that was what bothered my mother, was that he could go from a complete calm to just appearing next to me as a teleport and popping me on the rear end
While you're
across
up,
the room.
Eric. Well, I'm
Yeah,
not up
while
anymore,
you're up, and he
so-
would teleport to a sitting position. That sort of thing. That bothered her. The quickness of the snap and boom. It's like,
So you're saying that he's quick tempered,
Surprise! Bam.
like quick to temper, quick to anger.
yes. I think that subsided as he was older, but yes, definitely from his younger years, and definitely with me.
Well,
in my
all right.
early
So
years,
nowadays,
it's very quick.
any type of physicality with your child is would be considered unacceptable, and people will call like CPS and stuff like that. Not you.
I think that's a bit
But
dramatic. If
I'm
you're
happy that the
beating
government's
your
willing to raise my child because I'm like,
All
here you go.
right, but a little
You want to come and get in my
spanking,
business?
Yeah,
Go ahead,
you
take
want-
it.
you wanna
a little
pay for
spanking
this?
and never hurt no one.
It's all good.
They'll do that, but then they'll come after you for the money.
A little spanking and never hurt no one.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard when I'm in jail.
And
That
I think
Not making any
every
money now.
child needs discipline at some point. You can't not give discipline
I don't know about
because that carries over as an adult.
Well, I mean, if a kid is not doing anything, then obviously.
Yeah, of course, you don't beat them for
That
no
goes
like,
without
you
saying.
know,
Like, if
the kid is
discipline
good, then you
them
don't
for no
need-
reason.
Well, you know what? It's kind of fun you bring that up.
It's an interesting conversation
no
because a lot of people
reason.
don't want to physically touch their children now. That's become a major thing.
Is it
Not
really?
just a little thing, but yes, there are a lot of adults that reason with them, talk with them. I'm not going to hit.
But
my-
because
my
they
child.
view it as abuse, anything physical.
Yes.
They've
Why
kind of been
are
programmed to
you
think that.
why are you purporting to be able to hurt your child and physically cause harm to them? That's teaching them wrong.
It's violent. It has those.
I understand the thought process of that, but I don't understand why you mess with a formula that's worked for hundreds of years.
I mean, it doesn't always
Because
work.
Generally speaking.
Because
I mean,
you
if
wanna
you
prevent-
overdo
it-
it,
it-
might
it's
turn
obvious-
There's
into
always
a
an
bully.
exception to the case, but generally
Yes.
speaking,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Don't overdo it.
applied
obviously.
normally and correctly, there's a
Exactly.
response
Yeah,
to children acting up, and
yeah, that's true.
I don't-
There
have
are
a
plenty
problem
of
with
children out there where I'm like, they need a good spanking. They be talking back.
like I said, I'm not
to
into the
people,
beating.
they have
I'm not talking about that,
disrespect.
but just to pop on the rear end, and sometimes it doesn't work.
I remember being at some of my friends' houses, and because of the way my parents treated me, there are certain behaviors that made me completely uncomfortable. Meaning that I would see the friend
I agree. I've
cuss their parents
Oh
out.
my god, I was just thinking about that. Like, fuck you,
And
mom.
yeah, serious
You're
dead
like,
ass.
No, I cannot get away with
I know
that.
who you're referring to.
Hell,
Well, there's a
no.
couple of them in my case, but I
Okay.
think you might be on the same page. Conspiracy.
I know
maybe?
one of them, yes.
You're like,
I know
yeah,
one of them
oh
you're
shit.
referring to.
No, that would not fly with my mom.
So I would be uncomfortable because I'm like, you talk to your mother like that, and she
Yeah,
let you
really.
do it.
No, we had a friend. We literally went over to his house, and they were literally dropping f-bombs, cursing at their parents, and
Oh,
we were
that's-
highly
That's
uncomfortable.
bad. Like, you can't do that. You can't.
That
do
was inconceivable.
Maybe
to
you
do.
can't do
can,
that
I don't even.
without-
but they were.
Without some sort of like, nah, you can't just let that fly. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
discipline,
parents have to do
you can't let
something,
stuff
yeah.
fly like
Where
that.
are you going? You
just
can't go
like,
out tonight.
oh,
Fuck you.
Fuck you, you fat fuck.
Oh my
and again, and again,
That's
what's
bad.
going through my mind when I'm seeing
It's
this,
getting destroyed.
yes, is imagining my father and me saying that,
No. There is no.
and
talking
then
to
waking up next week.
you. That's right.
Yeah.
Because he probably wouldn't even react. He would just let it happen, and I would be walking around like it's cool, and I would just suddenly be knocked out somewhere. And I'd wake up a week later. Like, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
Like, weren't we just playing Street Fighter? Like, yeah, we were a week ago. Didn't you see your dad come over? I'm like, no,
Yeah,
I
I
didn't.
can't. We're not. That was just not an option. We're
That
not.
was just
we're not
all
doing
I-
that.
That's
I just
funny.
saw that.
Regardless
and
of
thought-
I felt my parents or
Yeah.
what right or wrong, whatever. Blah blah
I
blah.
put
There was
myself
no
in their
cussing at my
position, and I
parents.
was just like, there's no way that would fly. But also at the same time, with my mother, we were very argumentative and combative,
Yes, you
but I
were.
was never
disrespectful.
physical. I'll say I wasn't disrespectful. There were probably a couple of times just because you're a child arguing,
Yeah,
you're going to
of
be
course.
disrespectful, but I was never on that level. But just I was never doing anything on that level like that. Although Lady Di did backhand me one time.
Really?
I don't even know if it was justified, but she did do it one time.
You remember the situation? Are you comfortable talking about it?
I don't.
Wait,
I don't remember what triggered it, and I can tell you, even if I asked her, she probably wouldn't even know, and she'd be embarrassed for me to say that to
Fair
about
enough.
it. But
We
What,
don't-
wait,
I don't even remember what it was. But we were coming back from I think Aunt Gail's house, and there was a conversation. We were arguing like we normally would, and for whatever reason, this particular time, she didn't like what I said, and I got backhanded.
And you were like,
And I was taken aback, and I sat quiet for the rest of the car ride,
Mhm.
which would have been 2 or 3 minutes.
see,
But
that's what I'm saying. That stuff,
I was
it
like,
just
I was
works.
done.
You get
Like-
backhanded, you're just quiet.
Oh, okay.
But
Well,
as
Wow.
Biggums would say, I was quite infuriated by that because
Well.
I thought it was inappropriate. I didn't like it, and I was contemplating how to react to it, and I just didn't react. I'm like, I'm not saying nothing. I'm done.
what about
Particularly because it was normal for us. We would banter back and forth like that, and I'm like, where the hell did this come from? I'm getting backhanded.
wait,
That
who
wasn't
is this
wasn't cool. My mother.
again? Oh wow. Oh, okay.
But I'm saying it was a one-time thing. It never happened.
okay.
It was a random time because we argued constantly. I always argued with her when I was a teenager,
Oh, okay.
constantly back and forth. Now as I get older, I understand why.
No.
That's we can kind of do that now. I just don't need to because that's not necessary. But
Huh.
I was surprised. It was like, wait a minute, we do this all the time. Why am I suddenly getting guiled?
You're not following the script. What
Yeah.
is this?
That's funny.
What about like what about like teachers hitting their students?
Okay.
That's
I
different.
think
All
that,
right.
I think
That's
that
I know it's not really
that ended like 40 years ago.
I
I
know,
don't
right?
think. I
Not-
don't think
yeah,
that
yes,
should
in
be
this
I have
allowed.
opinions about that.
Yes.
in this country.
in this country.
Well, that's my reference. If you have more,
I have
to add.
opinions about that.
Well,
Okay.
Where I'm from,
Well, where I'm from.
and Jordan, some Middle Eastern countries, it's still a thing where
Oof, that sucks.
teachers can hit students.
Jeez.
Put this over the cats are trying
That
to
sucks.
do it. Please hold it.
Give it to the cat.
My father actually wanted to ask parents for the permission to spank children.
As a
on
matter of
field
fact,
trips.
Dang.
Actually, when I was going to
And he would go and ask. For the most part, he usually was
Can you
told
get
yes.
them?
But
Okay.
when I was going to like an equivalent, I guess it would be the equivalent of Sunday school, but I'm Muslim, so it would be like I guess most Muslim school. I don't know what you want to call it, but they just teach you Arabic and stuff and about the Quran, and I went to it when I was like young, like really young as a kid, and sometimes if the kids would act up, the person teaching would hit them with a coat hanger on like the foot or something.
I'm thinking here, like the ruler on the hand.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Catholic school or whatever.
Yeah, and it wasn't like it didn't like it wasn't ridiculous. It didn't really bruise or anything, but it didn't hurt. I mean,
But it was a wake-up call.
It was a wake up call.
All right, so I think
I don't think it was really.
that we've gotten away from the idea that it takes a village to raise a child, right?
Yes.
So meaning that if you're unable to continue the nurturing and discipline of the child while you're at work or whatever, now the other adults take up the mantle. Right now, we get into situations where there's abuse happening and all that kind of stuff, and that's not what I'm talking about. But when you're and now, as a result of not doing that anymore, you see the level of disrespect in the schools.
Oh man,
Yes.
I know.
Yeah, it's
It's out of
bad.
control.
Rough.
It's out of control.
That's a whole podcast in and of itself.
Yes. So I'm of the firm belief that, and we're too far gone now that we can't go back to that. I think, which is too far.
I agree too.
But I'm okay with the idea of my kids acting up and the teacher wants to give them a little pop on the ass. I got one time from Miss Penny, actually, 5th grade. I didn't do my spelling homework. And it was brutal, too, because every morning you had to come up and show the work you had to do. To come to her desk and show her. And I didn't do shit.
That
Like,
reminds me.
Show
of
me.
So,
Or
yeah,
glasses?
show me. Show me. And so
There was nothing.
I showed her nothing, and she took my notebook and hit me on the button. It was like, it didn't hurt, but it definitely
But
like
it was
shock
a hello.
yeah, what the why didn't you
Wake
do
up
your
and
fucking
smell the
work?
coffee.
Right.
Like,
So
hello.
in terms of her overstepping, no, she was fine. She did nothing wrong. I should did my fucking homework. I'm not gonna go, oh, we gotta sue her now. She hit my kid. No.
Yeah, I know. That's a total different story.
That reminds me
Now versus
actually.
then.
There was actually a point where I had to discipline a group of kids.
Really?
Yeah. This the same like Muslim school type. Well, it's a masjid too. It's like a place of worship for Muslims as well. So one day it was a night actually. They were gonna make prayer. It was like a big group. They were gonna make prayer, but it was like within 30 minutes, and there was a big group of kids, and one of the older, because they knew me, and one of the older men and the kids were like all running around, acting all crazy, playing with the light switch, like
Oh,
flickering
that's
up and off.
annoying.
So they were asking me, "Can you please just get them calmed down?" Because they knew me, and they like, "Oh, all right." So then I went to the light switch, I turned it on, and then one of the kids ran up to try to like play with it. So I just pushed him to the ground.
You can't do that.
And then after I did that, all the kids like they just sat down immediately,
Interesting.
and I just
Immediately.
mean mugged everyone. And then eventually some of the kids started to side with me. One kid's like, "I'll watch this light for you, Nazar." And then this one kid, it was hilarious. This one kid, he was actually just staring at me, just going, "I hate you."
Wow. That's
Yeah. Now I was trying really hard not to laugh because I was still.
dare you.
You're like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, because I was like I said, I was mean mugging everyone. Like you better stop. Because I don't know if you saw that, but I pretty much just got permission.
That's why I hate you.
Using all your
That kid, he
nicknames.
really hated me.
What the?
Grimace and I both agree. That's a
funny.
Street Fighter reference for those that aren't listening and don't know what we're talking about.
When I pushed him to the ground, though, it was like carpet. He didn't
People
hurt.
don't get their
It
asses
was
whooped
fine.
anymore.
Okay.
And the topic what we're talking about.
Okay.
My grandmother, born in 1920, my mother's side, would tell me how she could get with her friend and ride the subway to Coney Island for 5 or 10 cents
Wow.
as a teenager. And I'm thinking again with my modern perspective, I'm like, your parents let you ride the subway as like a young teenager, 12, 13, 14, from Upper Manhattan down to Coney Island and back just by yourself?
Huh.
She's like, yeah, why not? I'm like, because a predator could do something to you.
Get
Just
taken.
all. I'm just thinking all this stuff happened, and she just looked at me. She's like, "Well, that didn't happen."
Whoa.
I'm like, well, why not? Well, the guys knew better. And that's just the
Whoa.
thing that it was. You didn't do that. That wasn't a thing. I'm sure there were people that would do that, but generally speaking, if you were to put some sort of an advance on some 13-year-old on the subway back in the 1930s, the other
Everybody's
guys
going to jump on
would
your
have
ass.
jumped on
All
you
the
and been
adults
like,
there are going to be
"Fuck
like, you're not doing that.
It's not like that anymore.
and that's not the
unfortunately.
case anymore because we've
No.
moved away from all that.
That's sad. Chivalry is dead.
New topic as
I
we're
don't know
running
if that's
along.
really chivalry, but
Well,
honestly, yeah, I know what you mean. Though
I think it's a chivalrous thing to do.
Yeah.
Do you want to end on mine? Because mine's the heavy one. That'll be funny.
Okay.
so much.
Well, we got like 10 minutes left on this show, so we can do. Let's see, what do you got for another? You got another topic? So you got one to end on? You said.
The other
Okay.
one I told you about, you're like, what?
Mm.
I don't know if you'll get triggered.
I was
John.
dying by that one with the cafeteria. I just want you to know that. It
I
took-
saw you can't see it for the listeners, but I
I think
saw the physical reaction.
I think
I-
I may have a trigger, so I'm probably not gonna.
No,
get
go
it.
ahead. It's fine.
You're going to trigger
This is
me?
gonna practice. I'm gonna
I-
practice not being triggered. This is the new spicy.
Okay.
Is it like a little magnet of a turtle cereal?
Trigger.
Mm-mm.
I just want to bring up the topic of fluoride,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to say
The
that
topic of fluoride.
yeah, I didn't realize how far back in history it went.
Why do you say that? What do you mean? What have you
Well,
seen?
I mean, first of all, they use it in the concentration camps to keep the Jews at bay,
I heard about that.
which
It
to
strengthens
keep
their
them
teeth.
to keep them mild and docile
strong-
and not
strong
from
teeth.
rebelling and revolting.
Okay.
And it actually does the opposite. Fluoride. It actually makes your enamel thinner.
I don't believe that.
So you don't want to accept it?
Nope. I got fluoride treatment as a kid. I don't believe that.
I
Okay,
got fluoride
so-
treatment as a kid too, and I have a thin enamel.
Okay, so the things that I've seen is fluoride
hated
has
it.
a more sinister purpose, actually.
Hated it.
And I don't know what's true. Just research it yourself if you want to look it up. But human beings, they have this thing, what's called a pineal gland, right? So the gland, it allows you to reach a certain higher level of consciousness, enlightenment, whatever. And it allows you to be more than what you are, right? So the ultimate goal there is so that when you have fluoride constantly in your system, it deadens that gland, right? So,
Is that
so
near the pituitary gland?
I don't know where
The
it's
pineal?
near. It's in your
they
brain
call
somewhere.
it the third eye.
That sort of thing. Think of it
Quote,
like that. The
unquote.
third eye, in terms
It's
of
like
you able
in your
to.
brain.
Sauron.
Yeah, like imagine if you were able to unlock more of yourself.
Everything comes back to Lord of the Rings, huh?
Right. So you deaden that so that you have people that are more willing to just go along with things because if you have to reach a certain higher level of consciousness, then you're going to be like
Sheeple.
you might be more inclined to rebel. So many countries have banned fluoride.
Yes.
true.
So
Wonder
whenever
why.
whenever you have a country banning
haven't.
something like, of course we have it.
well, of course
you know.
we do.
Whenever you have a country that bans something like that, you got to look at the reasons why they're banning it, and then you have to ask yourself, why would our country allow it? So when
It's
we
good for your teeth.
right, so well, it's not.
Okay, you keep saying that.
Well, when you look into it, you'll find that it's not. I get it. I don't want to believe that either that
That's
mountains
fine.
are not actually mountains, but whatever.
Oh, good.
Well, we could do that in the conspiracy show on Friday. So yeah, so you talk about the fluoride. It's just not something that we should be having in our water at
No.
all.
They're
So-
adding it to the water?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was sarcasm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Your sticker on your car.
Oh, okay.
They're adding it to the water?
Yeah,
But
I'm
wasn't
not-
there something else that they used to add and that now they don't? They just put the fluoride in instead?
Ain't this funny what I'm doing?
This motherfucker
So is there any way to like?
just stole some of my drink live
I just
on
think
this
it's
podcast
disgusting,
that you won't hear
honestly.
live because
Is there any way to like get water that doesn't have fluoride in it?
I don't know.
filter?
I actually have a filter in my house.
Yeah.
There's filters you
it
can buy
does
to
have-
filter the stuff out of
With the fluoride?
Yeah, you can filter it out. Yeah.
How do I? Does mine do that? I'm thinking now.
I'm about to buy
Well, you gotta look at
charcoal.
something that actually says that it does
I'm about
that.
to buy
Okay.
some chocolate.
And then some of the bottled waters don't have it. Majority of bottled waters don't have it actually. But
Oh.
what they
But they have like carcinogens in it.
that's true.
plastic,
You gotta be
much
careful
better.
because the lining of plastics
Right.
now they're using that to get the people.
Yay.
It's a pain. It's a pain in the fucking ass to deal with this
The world
shit.
like I
we
just
live
can't win.
in, man. It's just so crazy. Like every little damn
cannot
thing
win.
you
No,
always have to
you can't.
worry about. It's insane. The water we drink. Now we got to worry about the shit in the sky that's falling down from these nasty ass chemtrails. Like what's going on? Like everything. Like our food's being poisoned. Like
Yeah, we're slipping.
everything.
We're slipping into
everything.
the
It's insane.
conspiracy theory. Although conspiracy truths at this point.
Yeah, ain't no conspiracy.
Just get some living
Seriously.
defense, and then you can have your.
Even they talk about him being a shill. And some of that stuff might not be what we think it is.
Aren't we all?
Are we all a shill? a shell, or a shill?
So what is it you said that fluoride did exactly
Sure.
other than weaken your teeth?
The pineal gland thing.
Yeah, and the pineal gland thing.
I believe it
So-
like dampens like your ability to reason.
But it lowers what you could, your
Is that
the potential
why-
what you could be.
All right.
Your,
Is that why,
brain.
yeah, I know.
And again, I don't know if that's true or not. Look it up. You know,
Okay.
you're gonna find you're not gonna like when you start looking that shit up. You're
I'm
gonna.
just trying to connect the dots here because
Oh,
I'm
good.
trying
Connect away.
So is that partially why the U.S. has the lowest like education?
Probably. Who knows?
It could be why our education's
It could.
falling since the 80s, since
It
fluoride became a
could.
thing in the 80s. Magically, our
Yeah.
numbers are falling since the
Because
80s.
I do remember fluoride treatments when I was younger too. They'd be
I
like, "Come
certainly
on!"
do.
The nurses would be like, "Come
Good
on!" The
point.
little cups that tasted like garbage, and I was like, "Ew, I
They
don't
used to
want to
put
do
this
this."
It wasn't a cup. There was an actual full you would bite down onto it, but it was an actual
Really?
full thing they put in your mouth, and you bit down onto it and sat there for 5 minutes while you got a fluoride
Like
treatment.
what they do in the dentist.
Yeah, there was a dentist treatment.
Oh,
Well, I
and
was
we
a
got
dentist.
these
Oh,
cups.
shit.
There was
these
some-
cups of liquid that we would.
Well, it was basically being
Swish
put
around.
into your mouth through
Whoa!
what you bit
There
down
was
on.
something
I
we're
didn't
putting,
know that.
Is it
That's
mercury
crazy.
fillings they
Well,
were
I'm a
putting
little
in?
older,
They were
so-
putting in some sort of fillings too that were just poison. Like you don't put that in somebody's fucking mouth. I want to say mercury. Don't quote me, but it's like mercury or something
Mercury?
like that.
It is
They put
mercury.
that shit in
You're not supposed to put that shit in. That shit's poisonous. You know they stopped doing it because it's ridiculous.
Well,
Because it got
at the
obvious.
dentist getting some back molars replaced and repaired and worked on, and they're putting on their hazmat suits to work on my mouth.
Oh my god!
As he's explaining to me
Seriously?
that it's low dosage, but it actually, and he's being honest, he's like, but it actually is radioactive.
Whoa!
So I have to
Get
pull it out of
that
my
shit
tooth
The fuck?
out of my
and
mouth.
put it wherever, but
No,
they're
no.
like in hazmat
Are we
suits
putting
as
that in
they're-
people's mouths to have in their mouths if they got to put a suit on?
I don't trust. Nope.
That's I don't
No,
trust.
no, I don't trust.
Now, this is me playing devil's advocate. There are times that things
That's
are
crazy.
done because you think this is good, and
But
then
it's
further research shows it's
not.
not. The question is, did they know at the beginning of it that this was not good?
Like
And just let it happen.
fluoride.
From the things that I've seen, so let's say you got somebody who works at their water treatment plant and they're putting fluoride in there, right? So then these people, like doctors and dentists, all these kind of stuff, they're taught certain things that they think are beneficial. But when there's a sinister undertone to it where they're actually manipulating these doctors and thinking they're doing the right thing.
Right, and I'm not disparaging the doctors. I'm just saying, just generally speaking, whoever's doing it,
Yeah.
that it's fine to say,
That
I think eggs are bad for you.
Yeah.
Can't have eggs. But then 2 decades later, like, oh, actually, eggs are good for you.
Yeah.
Eat eggs. Like, well, wait a
But
minute,
that's,
you told me
that's
they were
just
bad.
so
Did they know in the
untrustworthy,
beginning that they were always good and
That's
said
really
stop
sketchy.
eating
Did you
them?
hear? No, this is conspiracy
sketchy.
stuff.
Yes, that's
About to
different
slip.
shit.
though? Did you know?
Okay, so we have another one, or you want to go to?
We
mine?
got 5 more minutes on this show. We can do
Oh.
one more. Should we do yours or? You think
yeah.
5
Well,
minutes?
mine's a little heavy, so I don't know if you want to go into mine.
We'll just finish the
save
show
it
with
another
yours, then we can save yours for next week.
No, I want to know what he
All
has
right,
to
so
say.
we'll do yours and then we'll
I'm
finish.
I
the show.
built
Curious.
up all the curiosity.
Yes.
I would like everybody's thoughts on suicide.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you did.
All right, that's definitely some.
Now, when you say suicide,
What do I mean by that?
yeah,
I mean killing oneself.
yeah, I know, but like some people are like in the process of dying a very horrible, painful death, so they do like an assisted suicide thing instead of just dying that horrible, painful death.
No, I don't mean somebody
Suicide
that's
is
like got
suicide.
end stage cancer
Mercy
and
killing.
they want
Yeah, and they just want a bullet
doctor
in the
to help
head,
them
yeah.
out.
No,
this is
Yeah.
different.
I don't mean that. I'm talking about somebody that's made
Oh
the
my
decision that, and they could be in serious pain, but I'm talking about somebody that's made the decision, I'm going to end my life.
We've talked about this before.
For like emotional,
We've talked about this before. We did.
For whatever reason.
Absolutely, we talked about it.
for like
Man.
emotional reasons.
I'll go
rather-
first because I brought the
All right,
topic
go
up.
ahead. Yeah, you just go first.
I've always thought, personally, and I could get bashed over it, but I always thought that was a very weak excuse.
Aren't there some?
Much like the lotto, you got to be in it to win it. So I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm killing myself because life is tough, or I got hit by a car and my hip is in pain.
All right, I'll refresh your memory.
But I understand that people can be going through a lot.
Okay,
and
so when
have-
early on in my life, I viewed people that took depression to that level, or they're not as weak.
and depression
right?
is a big part of it usually.
Right, I view them as weak, right? But then as I've grown older, I've understood that each person is different. Each person handles things differently. Each person, you know, they're not. You can't put how you deal with stuff onto everybody else because the people just aren't like that, right?
Yes.
So you know, I've learned to not be so quick to pass judgment on people that are willing to do something like that. Do I find it still frustrating and annoying and all that kind of stuff? Sure, I absolutely do. Especially because they don't choose other avenues to try to deal with their problems. They just jump to that, and it's like there's things you could do to better the situation, and
I wouldn't
but
say
there's
just jump to it. But,
Yeah, but all right, so-
but they've chosen that path. As
right.
opposed
So
to,
and also there's a thing where people have like actual physical chemical imbalances that they can't control it, right? So then they turn to drugs and all these kind of things to help them deal with that. So are you more so saying like a person that is for lack of a way to describe it, a regular person that decides now I don't want to just deal with life anymore, I'm done, or you're talking about all of it?
I don't know, it's a good question because if you look at it as a mental disease, I guess maybe the question is too broad. Maybe the normal person does not
Well,
really make
all right.
that
So there'll be
decision.
different sections of it then, because obviously each person that is dealing with it on that level doesn't have a chemical imbalance. It's just that how they deal with life, how they deal with the stresses of life. And so you don't necessarily have to have a bad chemical imbalance to not be able to. And so my experience is I think that now a lot of young people, I see a lot of that sort of thing with young people. And because now with the internet and you seeing all the negatives that are going on in the
That's
world.
a great point to go to because I can't imagine thinking back on my childhood, even if things were bad or going wrong, I can't imagine teenagers killing themselves.
Right. So it's
Although I can in terms of the bullying
yes
because
yeah.
it sucks. And
So
I don't deal
now
with it
I
now as
think
an adult,
that
but thinking as a child, I would not have deal with it.
because they have access to the internet, they see all of the